All right, good afternoon, everybody. Today is Wednesday, December 13th. It's 1 o'clock. Parks Board meeting, City of Ocean Shores, roll call. Chris Bridges here, thank you, and Sean Islet.
Here.
Ed Schroll
Right here.
and Anna White. See you on the
Here.
phone. Yep, okay. So we have two vacancies. So I need to change, I need to make an amendment to the agenda. I need to remove Tom Bees under the park board, a new business park board interviews. He's not here. He actually applied to be on the planning commission and he requested to hold off his interview with us pending the planning commission interview. And so I need that motion.
I'll take that one.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor of amending the agenda to remove Tom Bees from the interview? All in favor? Okay, great, thank you, you guys. Approval of the minutes from this special board meeting on November 8th. I need a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, great. Just one little announcement. I just wanted to remind, there's 3 members here, myself, Anna White and Ed Schroll. Our positions are up on March 10th. So if you want to reapply, they ask that you do so in January. So it gives the new council time to get on the agenda and to do the approval. You don't have to go through another interview process. Your being on the Parks Board was enough of an interview. So just wanted to let you guys know, you don't have to give an answer now, but just giving you guys a heads up, okay? All right. Any questions on that, Anna or Ed?
No.
Nope,
Okay.
I'm good.
Thank you. All right. On to public communication. You have a 3-minute opportunity to talk about anything parks related. So we've got a few people in the audience. I'm gonna set my timer for 3 minutes. I always start with those online. So Vita, I see that you're here. Do you have a public comment?
Hi, Kristen. Thanks for the opportunity. No, I don't have a comment today. Thank you very much.
Okay, happy holidays.
Same to you and everyone else there. Thank you.
Okay, anybody back here have a public comment?
Yeah, well, I've been out of town, I just got back in town, I went by Chinook Park, the benches are in finally, I know I've been critical for a few months, they look wonderful. The park is very, very nice, and the bathrooms, I actually went in, they're amazing. I've never seen such clean public bathrooms, let's hope they're the same way a year from now. There were actually 4 rolls of toilet paper in there, I was like, I've never seen. So, I congratulate you all and the members of the city council that approved money for that and glad it's done. I do have one suggestion. In the area between the 2 gates when you come in, that is grass or sand. And I suggest putting either gravel or a concrete pad in there because that is the heaviest traveled area. And in our rainy season, which is what, 4.5, 5 months long, all the grass will disappear from there, unfortunately. But otherwise, what a terrific job you've done on that.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? No, all right, that concludes public comment. New business, park board interviews. Dan Helms. You want to come on up?
Working.
Wherever you want to sit, it doesn't matter. We don't fight. Hard. Hard.
Too hard, right?
Okay.
Okay.
So, it's just a reminder, that we're just doing the interview today, so, we don't vote, we don't do any of that in public, and so we just talk to you about why you want to be on the Parks Board. Now, do you want to go by Dan or Daniel?
Dan.
Dan, okay, Dan, great. So, thank you for your interest in the Parks Board. I always start out with the first question is, why do you want to be on the Parks Board?
I ran our own park down there, Gunderson, since 2008. Without any help from the city, only a little bit. Since this young man came aboard, he has helped us with flooding and different things down there, and he invited me to come to the park board to get on here. Also, the people I have down there that volunteers are getting older. And, I need some water put in. I got water, city put water, in, but I need, like we did at Chinook, where they irrigate the grass. So I thought joining the park board, I would have not having any influence, but at least ask and know who to ask and see if we can do something there. And if not, that's fine too. It doesn't matter, but you can only fight City Hall so long, and then you have to give up and join the group. And I'm at the point where there's too many older people living down in our area now, and they just can't get out there to help me, and I need help to maintain it and keep it going. And so that's why I'm here. And I believe in the parks too. Otherwise, I've helped so many people in the volunteer parks that came to us, because we were one of the first ones that did that. And showed them how to do it, go to the city, get the process going. And I have been lackadaisical on the reporting of the hours of people working and different things like that, because I've had so many people working for me that I just haven't done that. And of course, this young man told me I have on that, so I think that's one of the things that when you have a volunteer park, you kind of let it go, because it doesn't seem important, but it is important. So anyway, that's why I'm here. That's why I want to get on the park board. I want to learn more about how you guys function, and hopefully you accept me and we move on and make it better.
Okay, so the board's open to ask questions as wanted, so, or as needed, so, anybody have any other questions?
Sure. Dan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so how do you think what do you think the Parks Board can do, or where do you think the Parks Board would be best at? What do you think we can get accomplished as a Parks Board, and where do you think we should focus our
Well, right, the kids in Ocean Shores, I heard you guys talking about the last meeting was here and this one. The skateboard park was a great thing when it was operational. And a lot of kids went there, and I thought that's pretty neat. I mean, they really enjoy that. Then the new one came up, and then it shut down right after it was there. And I couldn't figure out why, because it was a good thing. Did the city run out of money? I didn't know all the interactions. I didn't know all the stuff going on. So every time the kids get something going that they like here, it's taken away from them for some reason or another. North Bay Park was the same way. They used to go over there and play a lot. And then they don't go there no more, because they were cut out of there for some reason. Maybe it was smoking, maybe it was dope, I don't know, but whatever the reason was, they need a place in the winter covered. They also need a place in the summer to go. And there's just not enough. We don't have a lot of kids down here anyway, but the ones we do have, we have to support. Even in the schools, we have to support them. And to me, a young kid growing up here in Ocean Shores, they leave here as soon as they get old enough to get on the bus to go someplace. They're gone. They don't stick around. And I want to be part of the group that comes up with ideas to help them and support them and give them a place to go. And not like a YMCA or anything like that, but let them go play basketball, baseball, whatever they want to do. Not tear things up, but be there, be supportive of them, and have an option for them to go to, rather than going down to the dunes and smoking dope or whatever. But we need to support our younger people, and that's why I want to be on the parks board, because parks are not just for kids, but they're for adults too. You take the park that's over there, that they walk around the lake over there, the pond.
Yeah.
Perkins.
There's a lot of people that use that. And they see bears over there, they see deer, they see raccoons, they like that. And it's kind of neat to see all that kind of stuff. So that's another reason I want to be in it. And I like what was happening at Chinook Park. I thought that was very important that we did that for the dogs. And a lot of people used it last summer. I was amazed how many people were using it. The little pond down there by Lake Millard where the tank is. That's mine.
Oh.
But
There were some motorcycle noises. I believe Dan's phone.
But, anyway, that, I enjoyed that too. And, they've helped that too, where they launch boats and they do different things there and people use that, where they didn't before. Damien Point used to be a great place to go out walking when the road was there and they go out on the end and they could have picnics out there. I realized we have no control over that, you know, it's state, but still, it was a neat place to go to. And,
Well, there was a big storm in 07 that washed it out.
yes, I know.
Yeah.
I was here, I
Yeah.
know. And, anyway, I watched the kids play soccer on our park in the winter. There's a family comes down, they probably have 30 kids, they bring down, and they play soccer out there for the whole weekend.
Mhm.
That was during Thanksgiving. And then during Christmas, there's some other people bring their kids down and they play baseball and they play football, they throw the ball, whatever. But one thing we have learned is the goat heads affected dogs down there.
Mhm.
So we kept water on it constantly, and water gets rid of, besides digging them up, water does take care of the problem. And we found that out, and also certain grass seed, got grass seed out of Oregon,
Mhm.
and it makes it a lot easier to maintain, it doesn't take as much water, and it doesn't let the goat, heads develop. So anyway, those are experiments that we learned down there. And, I just want to be part of growth that have new ideas, new things are happening. And I want to be supportive of Ocean Shores. I love it here and, I think it's a great place.
Thank you, Dan. You seem to care about the community a lot. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. And the skate park is up and running.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah, they had some warping,
we had.
some water that got
We
trapped.
had a glitch, but it's.
But
I
yeah,
don't-
it's taken care of now, so, yeah. I'm sorry. Do you
No,
have a
no,
question?
I'm-
Okay,
I'm-
anybody
I'm
else?
good,
have
thank
any
you, Dad.
questions?
Yeah, I was just curious if you had any experience with community projects or volunteering or what, besides the park down there that you've been taking care of.
I've been in the Flag Day Parade since 2008, every year. I've supported, different programs that the Lions Club put on. I've, I don't know, I've done a few things with Ken that used to be in charge of the street department. I did some things with him. John, who you replaced? Wagner. I was with him on a lot of things too. And, I don't know.
No, thank you.
I've been pretty busy doing my own thing, cause I had a yard maintenance thing for a while too, so. And then I sold that, so I didn't have a lot of time to be on committees and different things. I was on the Ocean Shores Mayor Committee, where we went from a manager to a mayor. I was on that episode and craziness, and anyway. I was there for that, and, I've helped some council members put up signs and different things like that, but I haven't really been on any boards or anything because I just haven't had the time.
No, I understand that.
Now that I'm older,
Now
I got
that you're
time.
retired?
Yeah, and retired now, I got time. Plus, he keeps hounding me to come down here. And
Good, I like that, thank you.
so that's where we are with me.
Thank you.
I know, Anna, you're on the phone, so you can't see us, and I don't wanna forget you, so if you have anything, just let us
I have
know.
a question. Dan, prior to today, how many Parks Department meetings have you watched, attended, or listened to?
This is the second one, believe it or not.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, Anna?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, and if you need, and then just shout out if you have a question that pops up. Chris, do you have any questions?
No.
I don't have any more questions because you guys asked a lot of the questions I was gonna ask. Dan, I really, really appreciate your interest in the Parks Board. I think that, and Chris, who's been on a couple of Parks Boards now, I'm on 8 years, 6, 8 years.
I can't, I lost
So
track.
anyway.
The pandemic threw everything on. Those of you who don't know.
Yes, the pandemic threw a lot of, yes, all of us off a little bit. So, you know, I think that it's safe to say that we've done a lot of work on this Parks Board. I mean, you can see, you know, we took Gunderson Park, Triangle Park, the two really successful adoptive parks, in my opinion. You guys have been amazing, and we appreciate that. And I also appreciate that you want things for Gunderson. And so, but we don't know, like, if we don't know that there's irrigation needs and we can't fix what we don't know. And knowing that now, I think you probably know that now, Sean, just by hanging out. But just, you know, trying to let us know the things that you need, and especially like Triangle Park, and we've talked about that, wanting a dog dispensing, dispensing waste can. Yeah, things like that. So that helps us to know and go forward. And knowing that the skate park got shut down and not knowing, you know, lets us know that we're not doing our job either to really try and get that message out. We think that we're doing a good job. We think that, you know, we're doing it on social media and all these other avenues and announcing it at council, but it doesn't reach everybody all the time. And, you know, maybe coming up with other ways that does help us to realize that maybe we need to look at ways that are communicate with the community when things like that happen. Is really good to hear. And also the kids, you're right. We don't do enough for the kids. We don't. We've been saying that for a very long time. So I really appreciate that angle that you're coming from as well. So, anything else that you wanna
Not really.
say this?
The reason I never came to the park board for any information or needed anything, I never needed anything, I'd just go to John.
Yeah, well, there's
And,
that too.
John would take care of it, so I mean,
And that
I
is a
never
good
had a
avenue.
problem with anything until lately,
That's
last year, it started last year.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
people started having back injuries and leg
Yeah.
injuries, and they just couldn't pull the hoses around anymore.
Mhm.
And then he comes by and says, why don't you come to our park board meetings?
Yeah.
Get involved.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, and I've been vocal about adoptive parks. I think they're an amazing concept. In theory, they're great, but, and I've said this to Jeff about Triangle as well, it's what happens when? Because we have seen other parks that were an adoptive park and then somebody doesn't take it over after that person and it falls to the wayside. We've seen that. So how do we prevent that happening when you guys have invested a lot of time in these really great parks, little, what we call pocket parks in the neighborhood? And so having maybe some ideas going forward, so I really appreciate that. Yeah. Well, thank you. All right, and you're welcome to sit right there and whatever you wanna do. Yeah, except we don't bite. Not hard.
And not much.
And not often, that's right. Okay, so we're just gonna move on, and you didn't chime in, so I'm just gonna keep going here, so, old business, so we're down to just the Chinook playground equipment on the ARPA board requests, and Becky is here. So, we have the equipment. We've got Public Works, yeah, it's been there since November, so we're looking at a spring-ish, early summer install date. We'll have to do a lot of prep to the area, and hope for nice weather, and then to remind everybody that it will be volunteer built. So we will be begging for volunteers again, like we did the skateboard park, to put that together. But this time we get city's help, so that's always nice. So how much money do we have left over in our little?
The money that's left over is allocated to build a pathway because we have to have an ADA pathway from the bathrooms to the dog park to the playground. Okay, so that will take the remaining ARPA funds.
Okay, and I was just at council Monday night and their Mayor Elgin commented on a new swing, and we don't know anything about that.
Yep, so there's an ADA swing that was presented to the mayor and he approved ordering it. We found one that will hold up to 800 pounds, which is great because some electronic wheelchairs weigh up to 600 pounds. And then it will also hold adults, ADA adults, so it, will go. We need to lay out the map, we'll look at that together and see where it will go, and we're ordering, they had two different styles, one where if you could picture it, like the triangle shape of the swing set, where it doesn't go into the ground, but it just has kind of legs that connect the poles. I didn't feel that that would be sturdy enough, so we're ordering one with the poles and we'll cement it in the ground like the other
Yeah.
swing sets is really the way to go for that, so it's gonna be much safer, so we're gonna be ordering that one and install it in the spring.
Is that the same company that we?
It's a different company.
Different company.
Yeah, so it'll look different, we may paint it, we'll see what it looks like when we get it there.
The company that we ordered from didn't have one.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, that's
It's a
interesting.
pretty specialized.
Yeah, it is,
item.
because it's different than the ADA swing. So just to clarify, we do have an ADA swing on the new equipment that we ordered, but it is the ones we have to transfer the person into. This is literally like what you just described, which is you pull a wheelchair up to this platform and lock it in place, lock the wheelchair in place and you can swing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, that's great. So, and that was about $5,000 for
I
that.
think it was 35,000 and the shipping was pretty.
3,500.
Yeah, 3,500, sorry. And then I think the shipping on it was like $800 or something.
Okay,
Yeah, so just under $5,000.
so just under $5,000 and that's coming out of that.
Yes.
Okay, all right. That's
I'd like to interject here real quick. I also saw the information about the wheelchair swing. I did a quick Google search and I found a lot of high risk reports from different parks across the nation that had tried this and have them removed because they're not really suitable for unsupervised play areas, because what ends up happening is they're not people don't know how to use them properly, and a lot of risk to injury ends up happening, as well as people who don't need to utilize the wheelchair swing are using it for unintended purposes. And so I'm wondering, are we going to do something to amp up insurance, or are we going to put some sort of a plaque or something that really describes how you're supposed to use it, what the safety precautions are, things like that?
I think a plaque for how to use is a really good idea. We could easily get a sign made for that. And then I will talk to Scott Anderson about potential needs for insurance. That's a really good point.
Could you maybe ask the company that's making this, what they're recommending, the other parks that have it, because, I mean, I hear what you're saying and I agree with that, but then my mind went to, well, if they're using this platform, so if, let's just say that some kid gets on it and swings it back and forth, they fall off. And it's not, because it says, I mean, I looked at the picture and it says for wheelchair use only, there's a big sign on both sides. What's in my mind, what's the difference if somebody gets on a normal swing and stands in that bucket versus sits on the rear end and they fall off?
Because they're not gonna put their bicycle on it. They're not gonna put their skateboard on a regular swing. And all of the research that I did on it is stating that almost every park has removed them after injury, because most of these swings are not public park rated. They're for private homes and private clubs and things like that, but a lot of them aren't necessarily meant for public playgrounds because of that. That's just the research that I did. I'm sure there's another side to everything, but that's what I'm asking. Are we going to do something? Because what a lot of the things I researched said that kids take their bicycles on them, get the swing going, and then use it as a jump. They use their skateboards as a jump. Multiple people get on them. 4 or 5 people stand on them at a time and get it swinging. Those are the common problems they found with it. So that's what I'm asking, like, how are we going to moderate that? And are we going to put something up that releases us from a liability for people who don't use it appropriately?
Okay. Ed.
Okay, real quick, with that in mind, is there not some way that device can be locked down and only utilized, say, by a handicapped person that maybe approaches the city, the convention center, I don't know.
You know,
let
parks
somebody-
are-
Yeah, I know
parks are
I-
open though, right?
Yeah, I know it's a rough thing, but you know that a code, for example, that can be given to handicapped people and hopefully can.
I don't think you can do that because parks are open to public.
Yeah, I don't think the city could really
And
manage
that's
that
actually for all
either.
kind of private.
Yeah.
I like the idea, I know you're going, but I don't think that's
Okay, because
possible.
that would solve, I mean, that would solve the problem. That way it could be used in, you know.
Yeah, but if you have a tourist that comes in and then they don't have the code, and, I mean, our parks are open to everybody, not just the residents here.
Yeah, again, maybe there'd be a phone number or something.
Parksville is one of the places that had this installed, and they ended up, they tried to do the code thing, they tried to do that, and eventually they just had to remove it because the kids who shouldn't be using it in the first place were misusing it, and the parents were allowing it to be misused, and it increased their liability so high. So they ended up having to take it out because of the fact that it was being misused so often, and they had so many problems with it. That's just one part, you know, I mean, there's dozens and dozens of these articles stating how sad it is that they were done with the purest of intentions and really hoping to be utilized by the people who needed them the most. And unfortunately wasn't the case.
I mean, I had just heard about this at the city council meeting under the mayor's report, so I don't know if it was one of the communities, the special ed communities.
I'm not sure where the
report
request came
requesting
from.
this.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
not sure.
All right, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no.
I would like to hear more,
Yeah.
I guess, Chris.
Has it already been ordered?
It has not been ordered yet. No, because it won't be installed until spring.
Maybe some research.
So I haven't ordered
Yeah,
it yet. So I'll to the mayor with these and Scott
Good intentions.
with these with this information
Yeah.
and these questions.
Maybe we
and then
should
we'll
bring
see.
that.
Reach out to the other towns possibly that
Yeah.
had them and why they had to have them removed and see what they went through in that. sort of
Well,
thing.
and it sounds like Anna did some of that research. Anna, would you mind just maybe emailing me which cities or maybe a couple things I can send, or emailing it to Becky, so she can just maybe take a. quick
Yeah, I'll
look?
put together like a bulletin point, you know, just boom, 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 and let you you can take it from there, decide which ones you want to use or omit or however. So yeah, I could do that. I have them all saved.
That would be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, since
Mhm.
you
I
don't
think-
need to reinvent that wheel, Ed.
I just think it's sad that, you know, I understand all of that, but I think it's sad that we have the ability to get a piece of handicap equipment like that for the public, and maybe it's not something we can provide, you know?
Or maybe it is.
So maybe-
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe
it's-
it is. Maybe
I
they
think
weren't
just have-
cemented into the ground.
Yeah.
You know, because,
Concreted in,
yeah.
maybe not.
I mean, I will look to see like what, I'll look through everything that Anna has and then we'll discuss it with the mayor
Well, and I think that that's why you bring it, I mean, we do the
Yeah.
due diligence, we ask the questions, we just don't, I mean, that's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
So it's really important that we think it all through, we just don't do something right away and have a problem later on. We may still, but we try to do our best. Okay, so there's that, and so we're doing the ADA pathway, so our money's gone.
Yep.
So no covered dog park
No.
next year? Okay, I'll tell you next year, maybe we'll ask for that for budget. So, there was a request from some of the dog park. People that use the dog park is a covered area in each side from weather, from like the downpours and the sun, so that's okay. And no walking path. Okay, well, those are things that we can see about
Future enhancements.
future enhancements to the park. Yeah,
We're off to a good start.
we'll be putting together the budget request for here next year, so. Okay, so that's it at Chinook. Believe. On to the RCO grant for 2025. So you guys recall last meeting that we were denied the RCO grant for 2024. Or actually, to use in 24, yeah. So we get to apply one more time for the Parks Deferred Maintenance Grant for RCO for the next year. So I sent Sarah an email, asking, okay, what can we do differently? What do we need to do that's, we can maybe get this grant? And which I was kind of surprised to hear that there's nothing that we can do because, I said that I was sad to see that Cosmopolis and South Bend were both awarded grants that were specific for tennis courts, and when ours was specific for tennis courts. So that's kind of what made me think, well, what did we do wrong? Where can we do something better? So she replied back to me, she said nothing. She said they scored about 1.5 total points higher than we did, just based off of socioeconomic factors. We scored higher for need, but because we're not in a low socioeconomic city, they scored higher and they'll always win out. So we can't change the income level in our city, and that's basically why we didn't get the grant. So good news is that we did everything we need to do. We did score higher for need, but we can't change the outcome of how much money the city has in income, so residents' income. So we'll apply again, but that leads to, what do we want to do? Do you want to go ahead again for the tennis courts, or do we want to look at the baseball diamond? So we talked about that. We're talking about doing more for the kids. So, I mean,
Just
pickleball
like,
courts and
I think the kids would be more likely to use a baseball diamond and, you
Yeah.
know, redoing some of that park a little bit more than a pickleball court. Cause I've never heard a student say they like pickleball.
right.
Or covered basketball courts perhaps, you know, if we're talking covers, I don't know if that would fall into that.
Well, so the good news is Sean's crew fixed the falling over tennis court net holders.
Yeah.
So they fixed that, and that was a big problem. It's just not, it just needs to be resurfaced, and so it needs $60,000 worth of work, but they did fix it to where it is working.
It's operational for sure.
Pardon?
It's operational for sure.
Yeah, it's for sure
There might be
operational.
a
Your
crack
balls
or
might not
something like
bounce
that.
appropriately.
Right, there's some cracks. We probably wouldn't put pickleball lines on a surface that needs resurfacing.
Right.
That seems like
Yeah.
A waste of good money.
Well, yeah, unless we're looking at, you know, that this could be, you know, 5 years out before we resurface it, you know, I don't know.
It could be part of our budget request too.
Yeah,
I mean, it
so.
just depends on what city council wants to approve.
Sure.
So, I don't know. I kind of think that the baseball diamond needs a lot of love. And I feel like that's
where I would go.
what I was thinking. So maybe if we could just have, you know, somebody to, I don't know how much it's gonna cost and who we call.
The baseball diamonds aren't that bad in my look, you know, observation of them.
Okay.
I mean, what would you think, what's wrong with the baseball diamond?
Well, it looked like it was really overgrown. It looks like there's
So it
no
just needs to be-
delineation of lines, and then,
So that just gets chopped.
chalk.
Can I
and then
speak up?
just- public comment you can. So we'll do another public comment at the end for you, Dan. I promise. Keep some notes.
Okay.
No, it's okay. So, I mean, there's no back fence, so, you know, when when the kids are using it for the high
They have
school,
to
how
put
do
ropes up.
they have to put ropes up?
Yeah, to be able to set the outfield. They
Yeah,
put ropes up, and I mean, it's what they have to use, just because the girls and the boys play at the same time, but I understand it's functional, I just think we could upgrade it a little bit to, like, give them a dugout potentially, or have the fence done, or stuff like that, to make it more of a viable place for the boys to play baseball.
The mound, you know, the
There's,
mound.
the dugouts are all redid, we just got them putting all new siding and,
Okay.
Oh, I haven't been over
all
there.
new boards on the
That's
inside
nice.
of the dugouts, they're,
Okay,
I just got done doing that and painting them, I mean, I think we still need a water fountain, I had to remove the water fountain because it was vandalized. So that would be something that you guys can put on your deal for, Chinook Park's, baseball diamond needs a water fountain for sure.
okay.
North Bay, I mean.
What kind of, how did they destroy it? How do we keep?
Well, so it was just really what it was a piece of concrete upside down with a piece of, pipe going up through it. It was someone made it. And they just kicked it over and broke it. That was all. Or if we put something with like we have over at Chinook Park.
Yeah.
You can, you can climb all over it and not hurt it.
Well, that's good to know. And a dog bowl on that one wouldn't be a bad idea.
It gets a lot of use there too.
Yeah.
Oh, my dog knows that dog will take him out of that park. First place he goes to is right to that water fountain. He's looking at me, push the button. Come on.
I think that would be a big
That's
thing
good.
for
That's
baseball diamond to make it more functional.
Yeah.
I just got done fixing all the irrigation there, so it's
Is it,
good.
and what about the outdoor fencing, like, or the outdoor
Yeah.
fencing, is
The
there
perimeter,
the perimeter? fencing?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's
in
probably-
good shape, but it's only 3 foot tall.
Yeah,
right.
So I see a
more
lot of guys
regulation.
there that are like, but they're not really kids. These are like in adult leagues where they're playing softball practice there. And they're hitting them all the way to the airport.
yeah,
Whoa.
So they're knocking off the walls and, hit the window and busted the window out the airport just a couple weeks ago. I'm like, who is this guy? Like Babe Ruth or something? I mean, really, he's hitting from the baseball diamond all the way to the airport.
he missed his.
In the
chance,
building
didn't
and
he?
hit- yeah, right? So I mean, I get it, they probably would love to have something tall behind there.
Right.
So that would be an upgrade that you're talking of, I think.
Yeah,
What, would you,
There's no
would you think
basin there.
about turning it so the higher fence line is protecting that housing? Or just keeping it where it is and putting a high fence that's. big?
I just think keeping it where it is, cause
Okay.
the diamond's already set up there. I
Yeah.
think just getting some budget for, even, it doesn't really need to be a fence, it could be just netting that goes
Like
like
the
on a
golf
couple
course
poles, like the golf course has.
Oh, that's,
Throw a couple poles up, throw some netting across so that they're hitting into that and coming back down into the field.
yeah. And you mentioned bases too, because I know there was another thing.
There's no bases
Yeah.
there, so when the high school does come and use that, when their field's rained out, which happens a lot.
Mhm.
Our field's pretty high and dry, so they use it a lot, and they have their maintenance crew come over and maintain it, the school does before they play, but they just throw throwdowns on.
Right, Right.
It'd be good to get some actual bags that were mounted to the ground.
yeah, and I noticed the baseball diamond doesn't have that little hill.
Yeah, it doesn't have a pitching
So,
mound, and we can, make some, when I was at First County Parks, we just made. Mounds that were roll around, so like, like softball uses, doesn't use a mound and
Right.
baseball does.
Right,
So we could just, it's stored in our little shed that we have there, they go and get it and put it out there,
yeah,
Maybe in the summertime, we just leave it out there, and if they don't wanna use it, they wheel it off.
Right,
okay,
But that's something that we've made removable mounds before,
I've
so
never seen that, but okay.
stuff like that is definitely something, we could get a ball field groomer. Where it drags behind there, it's like off
Yeah.
of our tractor.
a lot of the grants that people won grants, were awarded the grants, had equipment in there.
So
So
those
a
are
lot of
something that you guys
equipment.
can look into getting the funding
Tractors,
for. But
yeah,
I'm sure that the city doesn't, there's just,
Well, couldn't we roll North Bay, the whole park into it? We do it.
it's one
North
part
Bay.
per grant,
Okay, so, but the baseball field is part of North Bay.
right,
So there's the basketball court could use some resurfacing.
well,
You
no,
know.
we gotta talk about that in a minute.
Okay, so then all I'm saying is there are
we're gonna
other
do that, the
things,
city we can do that.
Yeah,
okay?
we've got a plan for that. It's not
Okay,
gonna cost
and the
any
driveways
money.
and parking lots and all of that stuff, which is big money, so.
Mhm. Well, we only have $100,000.
Right, no, but I
So
understand it, but there's a lot of projects in North Bay.
if we add all that stuff in and ask for this RTO grant, $100,000, then we would have to ask the city to match it. So we've got to make sure that our requests stay under $100,000 for this
Okay,
grant.
all right,
And that's why we're just picking one section of the park. So, as an improvement.
And it is a very heavily used park
Oh,
for
yeah.
the kids.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
well, and I
I see
mean,
the kids using that park more than the Chinook park.
I don't know how crazy it sounds, but like potentially like the dock, making it larger or making it wider for this kid, cause kids fish out there all the time, they go out there and they.
2 docks there
Yeah.
currently, but yeah, making it
Well, it's
larger. Wouldn't
close
take much.
proximity to town, that's what makes it so popular.
Oh, okay.
You know, to the schools, to the center of town. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, we actually have, I've seen very many times that other than Ocean Shores comes in and uses, other school districts come in.
Yeah.
And use our park.
Mhm.
I
That
think
part.
Pleasant Park there.
They probably go to the beach and then go to the park, I bet. Yeah, you're right.
So,
I know the covered patio needs help, but that's gonna be way more than $100,000.
the patio, I would think it's sinking in the,
Yeah, I think that.
east side of the, covered area, it's sinking pretty well there.
So these
We
capital.
did some repairs to the cracks so people don't trip and fall.
Yeah. But, okay. Well, anyway, so just wanna let you guys know that,
Is that due by?
September of next year, so we've got time, got lots of time. All right, any more questions on the RCO grant? Anna, any questions? You're not forgotten, Anna, so just chime in when you wanna say
No, it's
something.
okay. No, I have no questions.
Okay, all right. Park map flyers. So we had talked to, doing some flyers, trifolds, what do you want to call, for hotels, for tourists, more at the convention center. And then I'm kind of getting ahead in discussion to the next one is health fair. I'm gonna tie this in. So they're doing a health fair in January and they asked parks to be a part of that. And I thought, oh, yeah, absolutely. What can we give? I'm like, well, we can give a map. We can give the map that we have of all the parks and the access to the beach and things like that. And then that's when I'm like, well, maybe that's our time to do the trifold. So then I was looking at the map and I realized that the last time this was done was May 6th of 2011. There's been some changes to not just Chinook Park, but quite a few changes. Like, for example, future Gunderson Park. Well, we know that's not a future park. We know that's a developed park. We know that North Bay doesn't have a tennis court anymore. So there's quite a few changes that we have to make on this map before we can then give it out. And then plus we have to add the dog park and things like that. And this is a really nice map and it was prepared by the City of Ocean Shores Public Works Department. So do you guys know if this exists in some kind of a form, email, PDF?
It might be on our end drive.
I think I've seen it.
Have you?
I'm pretty sure I've seen it. Cause I remember thinking, that's really old.
Yeah, right? So,
I'll look for it.
I reached out to Aberdeen Minuteman Press, who the city uses for their printing needs and so I asked them, how much would it be to help design and print about 1,000 trifolds? And they quoted me with $844. I didn't think was that bad. So, for 1,000 of them. And there's money in the budget, so, but we can't give out a. No,
I'm sure,
Update, yeah.
I'm sure I've seen that.
so they might be able to help us make the changes. They can help design that and make the changes and.
Yeah, cause we could make it, or they could help make it.
Yeah.
The font is really small on this and everything. And it's gonna get
It's-
smaller if we're adding things to Chinook Park and.
But we're taking away things too.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if that's gonna be a trifold, you can make it a little bigger than a sheet of paper.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so that was kind of my thought. I didn't think that was too bad and we can certainly hand those out. And then I'm not sure, when we talk about the hotels, and doing that because then that's gonna cost a lot more money and I don't know if city council is gonna wanna pay for that. I just haven't really gone any farther with trying to figure out how we wanna do that. So
I've seen, flyers like that from towns that have sponsors in them.
I have to, I thought of that.
That's a possibility if we
Mhm.
need to be able to finance more of them are in a way.
Yep, yeah, but is that? That's where a
It's
chamber
weird,
comes
right,
in,
yeah.
but we don't have a chamber, so I don't know. I think we definitely need to keep talking about this. I just don't know what the answer is. I think there's a solution. And maybe it is that, maybe it's the Parks Board goes out and finds people to
And local
sponsor,
businesses that are sponsored,
mhm,
cause if it's only $889 for 1,000, I mean, for
Mhm.
3,000, they kidding
it's
me?
1,000, yeah,
Yeah.
1,000.
There's
Right.
flyers in the convention center office that show like the bike trails and how. Stores, you could grab one of those and see who made it and find out like how that got done.
Okay.
Text.
I was gonna say, yeah.
You weren't today. I didn't know we had those.
Okay, and if it's in like a PDF or an email, like she can email it or something, that'd be great. Be easier. All right. So I don't know, but I think that we need to update this regardless. And I think that these should be given out to people. I think these should be at the convention center for sure, for tourists. And so, and I do like the trifold idea because I want to highlight the dog park, I want to highlight the skateboard park, all the things that we're doing.
The interpretive center,
And the interpretive
the
center.
library.
When we get our High View Trail big fancy front sign, we can have them there.
Yeah, there's lots of places that definitely could use those,
Yeah.
other than just the hotels.
Yeah, the convention center alone, people go in there.
Mhm.
Isn't that the informational center?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they go in there for trash bags all the time.
So,
Yeah, yeah, and the nice thing is that this map even shows the beach approaches.
Yeah.
The vehicle and the walking, so.
Does that go far enough that you could put the Dune Trail on that map too?
I think,
Is Chance on bar in there? That's what we should do, where it says vehicles, whatever that says, we should
Yeah.
change it and have the actual road names.
oh, okay, maybe you're right.
I don't know, what's number one?
Oh, Milo Schneider, so yeah, so here it is right here. It's right here,
So Dew Trail would be right in there.
there, yeah,
Okay, yeah, so it's on there.
Yep. yeah, definitely need a magnifying glass, or my glasses to see.
That map doesn't show the beach access on the bay, does it?
On the bay side. It shows Damon Point, and then it shows. Ooh, yes, it does.
yeah, these two,
There are. Mhm.
2, 3.
Yep, kind of by Gunderson Park,
Yeah, there's one there.
Yep. yep, and then it shows. The one just north of that. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to see, but I can see the footprint.
Something we can do too is we can add QR stickers that people could just take their phones, go up and hit the QR code, and it would download a map right to their phone, and then they could zoom in and have that available to them.
That's a good idea.
yeah. it's
Great
very-
idea. Okay.
And that's free.
No, they're not, so I don't think they're free. Cause I had to do one for
There's
the
no-
skate park.
Oh, a QO.
No, I think it wasn't, it was really cheap. I think it was under $10, but I did one for the skateboard park.
Oh, okay. I
When-
think I thought for like nonprofits and for public works, I thought it was like free, but maybe I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, sorry.
I don't know, I just did it. I just paid for it because we needed that on our banner, so I guess I didn't investigate it, Anna. But I guess it could be, I can investigate that. Okay. But it's cheap anyway. All right, great idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right, thanks, Anna. So that then leads to the health fair. So January 20th, they're doing a big health fair over at the old Ace building, which is next door to the Ship and Print by Sunset Pharmacy, from 11 to 5. So they asked Parks to be there, which I think is a great idea. I know, the Parks Foundation is gonna be there as well. I'm gonna man the booth. If anybody else from the Parks Board, well, you're gone,
Yeah.
and so you have a free pass.
Okay, is that,
It's Saturday,
Saturday?
the 20th.
I could come in from.
From 11 to 5,
Yeah.
so, just go ahead and just email me, you guys, if you wanna do that. I thought maybe we could just, it's 6 hours, so we can do 3 2-hour shifts, we can do 2 3-hour shifts, whatever. If you guys could just email me if you're available, and if so, what hours you wanna do, and then I can put it together, but I'll be there all day regardless, between both, so.
And that's January 20th?
Mhm.
Boy, that's not very much time to get the maps
Uh-huh.
done.
Yeah, right. So the good thing about Aberdeen Minuteman presses are fast. They're really fast.
Cause I think it's a great idea. I have so many friends that don't drive around and I'll be talking about the parks and they're going, I don't know, where's that part? And it's like,
Well, the worst case scenario is we can just print off some of the things that we have, not have a trifold made, not spend $1,000.
Yeah.
But just print some maps off for people. But, they're pretty quick. So, and we can always make adjustments, if we don't get the QR code down or something like that, it's gonna be okay.
okay.
But if you guys can, find that email, that would
Emailing
speed things-
myself, so I do it
speed things
first
along.
thing tomorrow.
Now, if they don't have it, then we'll just
Have,
make copies.
are they gonna advertise as health fair in the old East building?
That was right here. Look for more details to follow as we add more features, he just said. He just emailed this to me. So Ocean Sunset is sponsoring their first annual health and wellness fair on January 20th from 11 to 5. This event will include wellness in many categories such as physical health, healthy food and drink, art and music, for emotional health, financial health, assistance with Medicare inquiries and more. The Morris family has been serving Ocean Shores in the North Beach area for over 50 years. This is their way of giving back to the community they love. Entertainment on the Sunset stage will include a dance band and line dancing. Look for more details to follow as we add more features. So that's really all.
Give me a flyer and I'll get it out on the radio.
It's Tim Rosso that's putting it together, helping put it together. So, yeah, he just emailed me that.
It's nice to know that they're gonna start using that building for something.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, one day for that year.
Well, gotta start somewhere.
Sure.
It's about time to, wean ourselves off the Lions Club.
Okay, the next discussion is evening meetings, so. Last year, back in June of 22, when we did the outreach, there was some community, some community members that said that they wanted more access to the meeting and come to the meeting and have an evening meeting, so we did that. So we decided to do one meeting in the evening per quarter. We do it for a year, and then we'd circle back and see if that raised interest, what that did. I mean, did we see more people come from the public? Did we have more online? Last meeting, which was the November meeting, and it was at 6 o'clock, was our largest meeting. That was the first for us, but it was at 6 o'clock at night. I don't know if it was because it was at night or people just
Wanted to hang out.
wanted to come to our meeting, which that's great too. I looked back, I didn't see that we had more people attend our 6 PM meetings, to be honest with you. The other thing is it's always a special meeting, so that limits what we can do. We can't make amendments, we can't take a vote when it's a special meeting, so just knowing that going forward, if we decide to do that going forward. But we do need to decide if that's something that we wanna do, and we do need to vote on that. So, it's open for discussion on our board.
I'm gonna be honest, the nighttime meetings for me personally are a little bit easier, just for substitutes and stuff like that at school during the school year.
Yeah.
We're lucky right now that I've got somebody who's been taking my half days for me, but it's just easier at 6 o'clock at night.
Okay,
I find dinner, you know, a meeting right at dinner time to be disruptive in my household. I mean, I understand, you know, I understand that it could be a very useful tool. I'm not sure it's really become that. And it's certainly, we're all volunteers here, so even no matter what day of the month or time of the day we come here, it's our time. But the evenings are tough for me, because even 6 o'clock, that's dinner time, that's time to kick back, have a glass of wine, watch TV, and, you know, and it does change the evening, you know, so that, I don't mind continuing it if everybody really wants to, I won't be the person to hold you back.
Okay.
But that's my thoughts on it.
Okay, Chris,
I'm okay either way.
okay, Anna,
I agree with Ed. I kind of tend to think the daytime ones are a little bit more easy. It's difficult sometimes to do the evenings. So I would say for days.
okay. We can do one more thing. We can do just a real general survey for 1 month and ask what would they want to do. We can maybe ask again. Doing 1 a quarter, if they like that idea, would that bring more people in? But to me, that we've already done that and it didn't seem to show anything. I don't know. I personally don't like having a special meeting 4 times a year, because it does make it harder for us to make a motion, to take a vote. You can't change agendas.
Do other boards do that? I mean,
No.
they just keep it copacetic? Then let's just be.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever.
Okay.
So, you know, I think it's not a bad idea just to throw it out there for a month on Facebook or even on the city website and give people a chance to voice their opinion, because I know what'll happen if we stop it, we'll be the bad guys. And, you know, and on the same hand, continuing it, if it isn't productive, what's the point? So it might not be a bad idea to throw it out there, and let's get some opinions. and
Yeah,
go
that's
from there.
fair.
Yeah,
Well, true, that's fair, but we already did what they asked, and we didn't see. I didn't see any more attendance, I didn't see any more outreach by doing what they asked. So,
yeah.
I mean, if we ask again, they say, yes, we want that, and then we don't see it again, do we just keep going back?
Well, no.
I don't know, I'm just being devil's advocate, that's it, so it's fine, it's open for discussion. I mean, it was my.
In my opinion, I would think the public would want us to be able to be more productive. We get 12 meetings a year, and if 4 of those meetings were kind of blocked in with what we can and can't achieve and do during those meetings, I just would think they'd want us to be more productive. If we can get more done in the 12 that we have, I think we should utilize that.
That's fair,
Yeah,
that's true.
Flip a coin.
no.
No, I mean. Well, we can just, all right, so I say. Make a motion that we just go back to our regular meetings next year at 1 o'clock. That's my motion. Need a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so that is unanimous, so we're just gonna go back. And no, like if we're doing some special outreach or something like that, we'll certainly, you know, do whatever we need to do to get the public, so.
I got an answer on your trifold map.
Oh, yeah,
It is one of the volunteers there makes it and prints them out
we have
So-
volunteers at convention
at
center.
the Weather Wax Trail, yeah.
Oh, the weather wax,
The Weather Wax trifold they
I
have.
can say
You
that.
should get that
Weather
contact.
wax. We should get that,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, her name's Carla, she's a volunteer there, she makes it.
Would Jessica mind letting Carla know my email for,
No,
or your email and getting, okay, thank you. Yeah, so basketball courts, so, Sean Hughes and I, went out to the basketball courts and, they're actually not in that bad a shape, they are missing the striping. And Sean, I said, Sean, how hard is this to do? And he's like, it's not hard. And I said, so somebody like me can do it? He's like, yes, you're just following the line. So this summer, he's gonna get me the paint. I'm just gonna go in spring when we have some nicer weather and just redraw the lines, because they're there, they're just very faded.
I'll help you with
And make sure I stay between the lines.
that.
Does the city have the little?
Yep.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so we can do that. I can do easy, they'll just give us the paint. The backboards are fine, they just need to be pressure washed. And the netting is the only thing that needed, and the foundation agreed to buy the netting, and the nets are only $17 a piece.
Yeah.
So we will, and the lights are working. We were just waiting on the switch.
Yeah, I have a little, report here from all the requests.
Oh, perfect. And then, and you and I are meeting to
Mhm.
look at
brought our
the new,
stuff.
yep, the new signs. So we just need some new signage because the old signs are starting to peel off and hard to see what the instructions are and how to reserve the covered patio. So we're actually gonna have functional basketball courts here come spring, summer. So really without much work. So thank you a lot to John, and the Public Works crew for that. So that's really exciting. So that was,
Okay, great.
yeah,
That's-
that
that's
was
awesome.
your answer to the basketball court. So,
Sean, thank you for all your help. You've
Yeah.
been really amazing.
No problem.
yeah, a lot of help. So it's been great. So basketball courts are gonna be working by hopefully early summer. Storage shed at the skateboard park specifically. So when I was out there the other day, I went out there because there was concern that there was some water that's pooling on the bottom part of that half pipe, and is that a problem? So, nope, that's not a problem. I actually emailed, Ramp Tech and the manufacturer of the skate light product themselves. That company is called, it's skatelight.com, but they're out of Tacoma. And they had already been in correspondence with Ramp Tech in regards to the problems that we had. So, the question was posed, do we drill a hole in the middle of the skate light to help with that pooling of the water? And she said, absolutely no. She goes, skate light is water resistant, so the pooling water will not affect our material. But over time, it could cause the plywood to rot if we were to drill a hole in that skate light. So no, and then she said that she's not too far from here and she was hoping to come out in the next few weeks, weather permitting, to see the park in person. But come this spring, once the weather clears up more, she's happy to come out, work with our team on the ramp to see if we need to remove again the sheets to assess the wood below after our winters here in the Pacific Northwest. And she also said, Kristen, we will make sure that you are taken care of. So she has seen this problem before in one other community in the Pacific Northwest that's on the coast, that gets water like we do. And so what we did, Jim, Gary, and I, by removing the skate line and drilling more holes in the plywood, was exactly what they recommend. But they know about our issue. If there's a problem with the skate light, they said they will replace it, no problem. But the pooling is normal. So my thought was, and I wanted to talk specifically about the foundation, like they do at Emerson Park, which is our tennis courts, they have the plastic storage shed that has a brush and a squeegee. If we did that at the skateboard park, put a squeegee, put a broom, so the skateboarders know that they can use that to brush off when the street guy comes by and, sprays rock.
Yeah.
Or if there's more water that just happened, but it's a sunny day and they wanna remove the water and use a squeegee. I just thought that might be the best.
Skateboarders would use it too, because they wanna
It would be
take care
for
of it.
skateboarders,
Yeah,
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 for
for
anybody,
sure.
but
They would definitely use it.
specifically for skateboarders, I think they would use that, and I
That's a good
just
idea.
wanted to know what you guys thought of that. And number one, and number two, where would that go? Because I don't want to
We could
blow
put it right
away.
next to the dog, kennel there, just like secured to the wall right there and just.
Just talk to Nikki and make sure that would be okay,
Yeah,
Logan.
we're not going in the building or nothing like that, it's just leaning up against it, I think you know, it's a Tupperware type product, what you're talking
Yeah.
about, so, you know, it just sits out there, someone will knock it over
Yeah.
or something like that, but
Right,
I think that'd be a good place for it.
okay. I just thought that that
I don't
would
even
help.
know if we need to do that, we could probably just put some hooks on the wall and hang them there.
Oh, that's true too. I mean, I think that maybe just asking Chief Logan if it's okay if we did that to their, since it's theirs, I mean, no. But, well, that's
City
true
building.
too, so just, it is a city building, that's true, well, it is a city building, but I always wanna make sure.
Yeah,
everybody
and
knows what we're
obviously, we
doing.
don't want to gain access to in there or nothing.
Right.
It's also as I was brought up to me the other day, it's a evidence room as well, really. So it's an impound area, so like your car gets impounded or something like that, it goes in there.
Okay,
So, but just hanging a couple hooks on the outside of the building.
okay. That
I
might
see
be
why she'd
better.
say no.
No, I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
saying she's gonna say no, I
Yeah.
just wanna make sure everybody's knows what's going on and just keeping everybody in the loop, but I just think that that would really help the skateboarders a lot. I don't
think some
know.
Lights, there's power right there from the building right there too, we could throw a couple of posts up and get some nighttime skating there, really.
That'd be great.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's,
That would be
good.
really good. That would be
how
awesome.
much would that, I don't, well,
We'd have to work something up like that and figure it out, but there's
Okay.
power available right there. in
okay,
the Building, the city-owned building.
that's a
so-
great idea,
Yeah, you bet.
yeah, okay,
Just have
Even,
them turn it on when it gets dark, have a
Yeah.
sense of.
on the timer,
even just one on each end, you know, on the length.
The kids loves it.
yeah,
And
and there's a
they'd be excited
timer.
to do
Have
that.
an motion
Yeah.
sensor instead.
Or you could put it on a timer that you just,
Mhm.
it's on.
Same
for-
thing as like. North
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah,
Right.
be on for a half hour, an hour or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a timer would be good, that's a
Think
great
about
idea.
that, talk about that some more, but yeah, that's something definitely that should be, I mean,
Yeah, that'd be
talking about
great.
wanting to have more exposure there.
That'd be great.
Cut out the daylight hours, you know, especially now, 4 o'clock is dark.
And it would also get rid of some of that late night stuff. People may be thinking that's a great place to hang out and party, you know,
Right,
so.
there's
nothing-
lights there,
there's
they're like, yeah, let's
lights
go
there,
somewhere
yeah,
else.
Yeah, exactly. So, graffiti, all of that stuff, yeah. So, okay, that's a great idea. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, okay. I don't know, though, if we did a timer, I could see them forgetting to reset the timer and going pitch black and.
I think it's the best idea for security, to just have it on a photo line, to where when it gets dark, it comes on.
Or motion sensor.
I like that idea, when it gets dark, it just comes on.
Well, that way you wouldn't, like, cause
Yeah.
if people didn't wanna be seen, they just wait till the light goes off and hide back there, right?
So it
And so
would
if it's
prevent
always on at night. you
people
wouldn't
just
have to
hanging
worry about
out at night there, I think that's a really good
Yeah,
idea, that's a
till-
great
it.
idea.
So they make those little, this is just me thinking outside the box, like those little solar powered lights that we wouldn't even have to plug it in, like you just literally.
They do have those, but
It
they don't
charges.
last a
They
long
don't.
time,
No, they don't.
so, and a lot of times those are on a motion, not on a photo eye.
Okay.
And as time goes on, they get less and.
Yeah, they got it.
Less and less.
Okay,
We have the ability to have power right there, I
Yeah.
don't see why not.
yeah, I think I like the idea of just having a hook with the broom and the, versus a shed,
Mhm.
because,
Then it's more exposed to, it,
It's
everybody knows
more-
where it's at.
yeah, yeah.
Obviously, it probably won't get hung up every time, it might just get after they're done, but you know.
Probably. Yeah, who's to say they'd put it back in the storage shed anyway if we had a.
What about even on the back of the half pipe?
I thought about that too, but I didn't know if that would be a weird place for it.
Once they
That-
get
that
to
gets
know
a
where it's at, they
lot
might
of
know
weather.
where it's at.
Well, if you're right
It's a
there,
lot of weather though.
well, it's gonna be a lot of weather if it's outside in any way, shape or form.
Or if she's got a problem with us putting on the building, there's the sign, that's got the rules and everything there. Hang it right on our own sign.
No, Nick, I'm sure Nikki wouldn't have a problem with it. I just want to make sure she.
Sure.
We we're doing that.
Well, let's do that.
I think that's a good idea for the squeegees and the room.
Yeah, agreed, okay. And then, so, right, the last meeting we asked where more dog waste stations were needed, and we know that Triangle Park asked for one, and we kind of thought we're also, and you said that was done.
Yeah, that's on my list to tell you what we've
Yeah.
taken care of since the last time.
Okay, go for it.
Kinda got a request there, so, you want me to go ahead and go with that?
Sure.
All right, so, first of all, so North Bay Park, we got the, playground, bark all leveled out and, leveled out in the playground. At North Bay Park, let's see, we have a new, frost-free water hydrant behind the building there, so, and it's raised up to 3 feet high, so it's not 2 feet on the ground, so there's some water there now that people can use for, their picnicking and whatnot. Washing off some dog poop that somebody didn't pick up, whatever.
At North Bay?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Let's see, so we moved all the benches out of the play area at North Bay Park. Somebody keeps moving them inside the play area, and it's a play area, so you can't really have a bench in there, a solid
Yeah.
structure that someone can run into, so we moved all those out. The dog poop station at Triangle Park we installed, we just, we had some extra ones from the High Dune Trail, cause they put so many on that trail, they put like double them up back to back, and so we're like, there's already one there, what does there need to be two?
Okay.
So we took a bunch of those off, so then we were able to,
Uh,
move those around, so Triangle Park got one. Right over here, got one at the,
Northeast Grand Canal.
yes, that one got one too. Let's see here, we moved the Santa Can to the Marine View Boat Launch, and, so that's there now, so there's a Santa Can there out of the Chinook Park. I got all the parts ordered, we just have to get the time to do it now, there's a repair at the North Bay Park, the little bridge on the playground.
Oh, yeah.
That, it's kind of falling apart, so I've got all the parts, that came out of the park budget to take care of that, so that we're safe there. We installed a heater at Chinook Park in the bathroom, in the middle section to keep it, so we can keep it open year round.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so just to clarify, that doesn't mean that the actual stalls are heated, it's the water
Right.
So it
is
doesn't
heated, so
freeze.
it doesn't freeze, right? Just, so
Yeah.
if someone's out there thinking that the toilet rooms would be heated, no, they're still cold.
Exactly. So, and then, let's see here, we haven't removed the half court at Chinook, but we are gonna remove that and get ready for the picnic area, or the playground area. And the North Bay basketball court lighting hasn't been done, but I have all the parts to do it.
And you removed the north-south fence line at Chinook
Oh, we
Park.
removed the, at North Bay Park, we removed
No,
the old
Chinook.
fencing, yeah.
Chinook
Chinook
Park.
Park, yes.
And it looks really good, so that fencing that ran along Duck Lake is now gone, which in my opinion, I think it just makes the park more inviting to the
Yeah.
people.
It does.
And it allows them to mow easier, it's just, yeah, it looks really good.
It makes it
Thank
look
you.
more like a park rather
Yeah,
than something
yeah.
fenced in.
Was one of the things that you said you have the parts for that bridge on the structure, the playground structure at North Bay?
Uh-huh.
Like the clips for the bottom that.
Yes,
runs down?
yeah.
Okay, good, that was.
Yeah, that,
Thank
the
you.
brackets,
Yeah.
a whole new, cables that support that,
Awesome.
cause they had a lot of wear on those
Yeah.
too, so.
that-
It was almost it was a little over $3,000 for the parts to fix that bridge.
I'm not surprised.
So, but it's something that I need to get to right away, but it's not like it's gonna fall over and someone's gonna get hurt on it, or also I had to just shut it down now.
Right,
But it's something that needs to be taken care of, so, and addressed, so I have the parts to do that.
great. Cool.
By the way, my neighbor says, thank you for the Chinook sign, okay, and now I can see it all the time, it's across the street in his backyard. So apparently he wound up with both North Bay
Oh,
and the Chinook sign in his backyard,
Mhm.
so I have a perfect view of nostalgia right there.
I love that,
I can see it when I drive by.
that's funny. Well, thanks, I really appreciate it, Sean, you guys have done a great job, thank you so much.
That's what we're here for, that's why I come to the meetings to get your guys' requests. Obviously, it's not, try not to make it a wish list, but, if it's a viable thing, that safety,
Yeah.
brings up public safety, then it needs to be taken care of.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so now we're on to reports. Let's see. Well, not much I don't have anything to report really. I went to the council meeting today and new mayor Eldwin was first meeting. It was great. He's not our council liaison anymore, so he'll, at the new year, I'm sure he'll assign the new liaisons. Anna, do you have anything to report in general, not park specific, just in general?
I don't have anything to report, but I would like to ask that we bring, put something on the agenda for the next meeting or possibly discuss it now. I wanted to know, well, my thoughts are to bring more community awareness, because we've talked about that in the past and getting more community involvement. I was wondering, should we add a meetings link to the Facebook page? You know, maybe like prior to a meeting or something, put a post on there where people can view the meeting or what, you know, sign into the meeting, or maybe after a meeting is over, should we post a link so people can, you know, play catch up and see what happened during the meetings?
On our Facebook page?
Yes.
Yeah, we can do that. Sure.
I think if people found, because I know social media seems to be a really easy way for people to navigate, and it's not always easy to find the meetings when you have to, you know, search for the
Yeah.
link and do all that. So maybe if we just put it in an easy place where they can see it as a Facebook event, they know it's coming, they can either click on it and call in or listen in or whatever, maybe that might help get some more involvement. And
Well, it's you and I that are in charge of the Facebook, so it's just reminding each other to do it.
well, I didn't know if we were allowed to do that or if that's something that's, if there's a way that we can make the link, you know, kind of live, or not live necessarily, but like LinkedIn right there so people can see it. So that's just something I wanted to see if we could discuss or if it's okay to do that.
I don't think, I think it's completely okay to do that. I think that's a really good idea. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we'll just,
That's all I have.
okay. All right, well, remind me
Okay.
to do it. I'm not perfect, so, but, well, let's remind each other that has to happen. Everybody remind me I need to post it, so that'd be great. Thanks, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, do you have anything in general to report?
Not to report, but like Anna, I have something, an idea. I was watching Eric's Heroes on
Yeah.
Como, and he had this, story on this 10-year-old kid from Marysville. And he went to his city council and requested that they put in what they call a pump track. Have you ever heard of a
Yes.
pump track?
Mhm.
You have? Oh, cool. Anyway, and it took the council 3 years to get it done.
Yeah.
But they showed it, and I guess they have one in Leavenworth,
Mhm.
and it looks like it's really simple. They
Yeah.
just mound up a bunch of dirt and then you pave over it, so yeah, it almost looks like a skate thing, but they take their bikes and they call it a pump track, because they don't pedal a lot, they do that. Anyway, so
Yeah,
with
a lot of
kids in
down.
mind,
Yeah.
you know, I thought that would be a perfect thing for Spinnaker. I
Oh,
mean, lots of room.
interesting.
Anyway, just Google it, or, you know, let me know
Yeah.
what you think.
Um,
Inexpensive, but
yeah,
keep the
Yeah.
kids moving.
I've been to that,
Have you?
yeah.
Did you use it?
Yeah, I have a e-bike and I went through it and. Yeah, it's really neat. You just start it, you just get it, it has a high point, and then you just start rolling through it.
Yeah.
You don't have to pedal, you just kind of push
Yeah.
down on it and it's just a bunch of mounting rollers.
What do you think of the idea?
I think it'd be a great idea. So it's concrete, so it's kind of
They're
it's
using
fairly expensive.
Asphalt.
Yeah, the one at in Leavenworth is concrete.
Well, I would think concrete would be better than
Yeah,
asphalt.
cause it's a lot smoother, got rolling fairly
Well,
good.
then.
And it's right along their big walking trail area too, by over by their school. I think maybe the school might have paid for that one at Leavenworth.
They've been putting a lot of fun stuff in it, Leavenworth.
They got a lot of tourists.
Yeah,
Well,
they have a
I don't
gravity.
think they're as high as we are. I think we're number one in the state here.
Yeah.
for,
We get a lot of tourists. Yeah, no, a lot of times, skateboard parks will have dump trucks as well. So when we redo our skateboard park, that would be something that. we could look
Would that be
into.
something that tourists would come to play on?
Oh, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely people would come from all around to do that.
Room over at the skate park to do it, but Spinnaker would be perfect.
We would, yeah, we don't.
We have to build, we parking and stuff.
It looks like it took it was kind of, I don't know, I would have to say maybe 200 by 100. Like a foot area, Yeah, it's a little less than a football field, but yeah, something like that, yeah. You could do it all the way around the outside edge of the park or something, I don't know.
Another idea to consider.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's good. Yeah, that's a good idea. Ed, anything in general to report?
No, nothing other than that. I won't be here next month.
Oh, that's right. Okay, well, safe travels, okay?
Yeah.
And Sean. Okay, all right. We don't have a council liaison. I know Richard Wells is here, but he's not our liaison, but hello. Okay, this is our next time. Now, another public comment at the end of the meeting to just kind of wrap up and talk about some of the things that we've discussed. So I'm just gonna ask Vita. Okay, Vita, do you have another public comment?
No, I want to wish everybody a happy holiday. Thank you for all the work you've been doing.
Thanks, Vita. You have a lovely holiday as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so anybody else? Yes, Dan did have a couple of things. Go ahead.
Well, on the North
Yeah,
Bay
3
Park,
minutes.
on the North Bay Park, does the park board
Mhm.
pay more attention to North Bay Park than all the other parks?
No,
Sure.
I would say no. I mean, Chinook Park, we spent a lot of.
Only
time-
this year, Chinook has been just kind of left out too until this year when you put the dog park in.
Well, Chinook Park, we started talking about revitalizing Chinook Park when we first got together over 2 years ago, when it reconvened after.
I mean, I'm just asking, because it just seems like to me, those two parks get all the attention of all parks.
Well, the skateboard park, we just did that one.
Yeah, but it's
Spend a lot of
not
time.
operating, or it may be now, but
It is operating. It was only down for 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks max.
Okay. I just heard some kids talking, they had no skateboard park because they took it away from them, and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to be on the park board,
Well, that's not-
maybe I'll ask and find out some straight
Well,
answers.
when did they say that to you? Just recently?
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
It was open before the last meeting, wasn't it? It was back
yeah,
open
it's
before
been
the
open
last
for a
meeting.
while.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah,
It's been open for a month and a half, 5 weeks.
Yeah.
okay,
No, it's okay. I feel bad because all the kids have to do is just go buy it and.
and I've been trying to put the word out of the school. I tell
Yeah.
all the skaters in the school that it's open.
And we posted on social media. Pretty.
November 9th. I
pretty-
just looked at.
Okay.
so our last meeting of just opened then.
It reopened
we
because it opened
reopened.
initially and they had to shut it down for a couple of weeks to fix it.
Yeah.
And then it back opened on
Okay,
November.
I think that's when they asked me, and I was gonna ask you at that meeting, but I couldn't talk, so I just let it go, because I didn't know. I didn't know what kind of meeting we have here, so.
Yeah, we have to follow Robert's rules.
Okay.
I don't know who Robert is, but.
Okay, I was just asking.
He's got rules and we have to follow them, but
But-
anyway.
On North Bay Park, he has done a good job up there taking care of that, because it got pretty run down, and there's a shed up there that has a whole bunch of stuff in it
Yeah,
that, has been there that nobody's used for.
yeah, we talked about that the last meeting. You and I went in that the last.
Well, I used to borrow stuff out of there to
Yeah.
take down to our park, so.
Yeah.
I know there's stuff there.
Oh, there is. Yep, we talked about how that would be utilized. Yeah. Mhm.
Who has the key? If there is a key. then.
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I have to say.
Oh, no, that's great. Richard, did you have your hand
I
up?
have
Sorry.
2 or 3 things I'd like
Oh,
to say.
sure, okay.
First, when you guys do the lighting outside the skate park, I think that's grand, and I just want to remind everybody how much less expensive it is to operate LED lights or any other type of lights. That's just a reminder, you guys are all smart. The other thing I want to say before I forget is this is the second park board meeting I've attended in Ocean Shores. The other one was, I don't know, 6.5 centuries ago, a long time ago. I'm impressed. You guys got a lot done and wow, just good. When you talk about basketball nets, I just saw, I think on Amazon, but more durable nets than the regular fiber netting. So when you're, and again, the nets are so cheap, it doesn't make any difference. But just think about the more durable metal mesh nets are, I don't know, there's. other
Yeah,
people
these
think-
are not gonna be metal.
Okay.
These are gonna be a fiber.
A fiber, okay. And the big one is, when you get to the Flint Flyers, this is definitely a tourist thing. Why not ask for LTAC funding? No,
You could do that, like, do these ones, I'm sorry, it's not public comment.
but, you know, I just,
Well, I mean, this part is pretty general, so. I don't know, maybe we could, I would have to investigate that a little
And I don't
more,
know.
without coming from the foundation, so,
but it sure seemed like an
Okay.
LTAC use.
okay.
And then, at the North Bay Park shed, we have a predominant wind direction, and I'm wondering if we put two walls on the North Bay shed, there would be a wind block from whatever the dominant wind direction is.
The covered
The
patio,
covered patio.
okay,
Could be the west side.
And that would make that, and then even perhaps some type of a heater. And I don't know, you're much more expert at what that might look like. But that could double as the team get together area, if I can get in and out of the wind. So it's just an idea.
It does end up being that a lot, you know, we get a lot of graffiti in that area, we've had a few times where we have to close that whole park down because people get in there and do a lot of graffiti, and lately I've been getting a lot of people taking the toilet paper and throwing it up on the walls and the ceilings, and
so if we
so,
cover it, that would make it,
I think so too, but you know, I really would love to try and see us try and get some kind of surveillance system out there that somebody can always, it can just be on a TV somewhere where somebody might, you know, we could be recording, and if we have to, we can always look back to it and say, well, this is the person that's doing it.
Trail camera type of thing.
Yeah, either that, or, you know,
okay,
if there's ever any money in the budget where we can get we can probably get some Wi-Fi from the airport. To get some cameras to be able to record from that far. There's just a little bit of an extender that we could get to go set out from the airport. Full-time Wi-Fi available to the public at the airport. We could get something to turn, you know, come over there and it could get stored and whatnot. There's actually cameras there right now, so we could just add to that system there. We just have to talk about it. And I would love to see some, you know, if we're gonna start making that park where, you know, people can use that during the nighttime and whatnot, we need to get a little bit more,
We'll possibly increase patrols through that park at night too, you know, I mean.
Yeah, that's
the
if
cops
people
could just
request
walk
from the
through,
police stuff and a little more often, because I'll tell you, there's a lot of money spent from the park budget on maintenance, on graffiti, and, I mean, last year we probably spent $5,000 fixing the bathrooms after someone went in there and just destroyed them.
Would we benefit from the auto locks on those doors?
Well,
we talked about that.
we probably could benefit from that as far as the bathroom, you know, but, you know, they're just gonna go out into the covered area. Yeah.
We talked about seeing how these locks would work at Chinook for 1 year. And then, or maybe a little less, but just see how they're gonna work, like, use Chinook Park as, you know, our testing. And say, okay, this is working great, or this didn't work great, or whatever, and if
How
that,
are they working, or does it?
I think people love them.
I haven't heard
Yeah.
too many wired,
There's
well, you
no,
had one
there's
person
no graffiti, there's no any,
with a lock, and then
destroying.
you had one person where the light was flashing red, they thought it wasn't working, but it's
Right.
because somebody was in the bathroom. They
That's
didn't
what I
read the
told them.
sign
Yeah.
that says if it's flashing, and there's a sign.
Somebody's
right on
in
there,
there.
so just, but that was it, though, it's not been anything negative yet. So,
But we could install those on the current doors of the.
that's something that they would have to look at, yeah.
yeah,
They're expensive, so I just wanna make
How-
sure
how
that
expensive
Chinook
are they?
is gonna be working first before we just do that,
Pierce County Parks have them in every bathroom.
yeah.
How
I mean-
expensive are they?
Well,
They're
they're,
a couple grand
yeah,
each.
Oh, we only need two. And we would save all that money from, you know.
Yeah, I just, I feel like if they're gonna do any kind of vandalism or something like that, if they can't do it there, they'll just move to outside.
Well,
okay, no. Okay, well, things we could talk about for
it'll
sure.
be, it won't be warm and cozy.
Right, well, right now, I've had a few times where I kind of come in there in the morning early just to verify nothing's been done to it. There's a. So
How do we?
It's not
how do we
every day.
request for more patrols through that park?
I would say that you might just, simple phone call to the chief and ask to see if she could get somebody to come through there at least once or twice a night. And
Just,
Just,
I mean, the dark hours is where we're running into problems, I'm assuming during the light,
Yeah.
nobody's really gonna mess with it.
Well, if they knew someone was in there sleeping, I'm sure that that would be an incentive for them to wanna keep a closer eye on it.
Right,
Did you alert, did you let, you know?
yeah, so
Chief
last time we
Logan.
had all the graffiti and whatnot, they kinda. We couldn't prove that it was a certain person. But they went and to that person who they thought and did some investigating there and showed their presence at the home. And
Okay,
brought it attention to the parent that they might be the ones that are doing it.
okay,
We have had no more since then.
okay.
So,
And then what about the person sleeping? Did you let them?
so I let them know they're not
Yeah.
allowed to be in there anymore
Sure.
and their dog, they were with their dog and they just said that, it was a one-time time. And so he also jumped up and said he wasn't sleeping. He was like, okay, well, why are you laying on the floor?
No, I mean, like, do we let, when that happens, do you just let Chief Logan know that you've had some? Or-
I don't let anybody know, I just, if it was a everyday thing where
Oh.
I started catching them in there every day and
Okay.
every night, they were actually living there, then.
All right.
Cause they had like the garbage can blocking the door
Oh,
and
okay.
so they were trying to, deter people from trying to come in. It was really early when I came in, like 7:10, 7:15,
Yeah,
so.
okay.
Which
Not
is that early, but. still.
Well, not typical for a park to be open up, people. out
Right, and
front of
the thing
park.
is too, is that we don't lock
Mhm. Well,
them, and there is heat in there.
right, and these door locks, okay, well, I mean, I know we talked about it, I just wanted to make sure that the ones at Chinook are gonna be.
It takes a lot of man
Working.
hours to go there and lock them and unlock them every single day.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, all right.
I thought we had auto locks on those.
on
But Chinook,
Chinook,
we
we
do,
do.
right, Chinook.
So, and those ones we haven't had not one issue at all.
Right. Okay,
Once we get a playground there, I think things might change a little bit. We've
okay,
got a different demographic that's using a park right now.
okay.
yeah.
All right. That's good, okay, and, yeah, sorry, Dane.
Oh, no, that's fine. So first off, there's a couple of things. First off, thank you, Dan, for what you do at Gunderson, and thank you, Sean, and please thank the Public Works. You guys have been doing awesome on all aspects. Really appreciate it. I think I brought it up before, but the QR code, get with Gary Pease, because,
Yes.
Blue Zones has been, they're paying for QRs. Throwing them up on the signs, it's all part of the walking, biking, all that, and they're more than willing to help out with the QR codes and slapping them on signs with information on them.
Cool,
So,
thank you.
yeah,
I will.
so I know it's not a great cost, but any cost you can save, and if they're willing to do it, so yeah, if you get with Gary Pease on that,
Okay.
they've already got that going. And what you said about the net at the baseball, I think that's probably the most cost effective, is just slapping a net, cause a high fence is just gonna cost so much.
Well, the wind goes right through the net, so.
Yeah, exactly. I just, with the wheelchair swing, if we could check and see if it's public park rated. I really hate to see the idea going away. I love that Anna did all the research she did on it, but we might see if there are some parks that do have it and have kept it and what they've done differently,
Yeah.
where they're not maybe having those problems that the other parks are. Because, yeah, that's just, and like Kristen said, it doesn't matter what the equipment is, the people are gonna misuse it. Those people are always gonna misuse something somehow. So I would like to see this succeed in any way possible. So, yeah, I'm looking if you get more feedback on that.
Yeah,
So,
got the notes. Thank you, that's it. Jim, anything? Okay, perfect. All right, so then wrapping up, park inspection report. So Chinook's been occurring at Gunderson and they all look the same. They look good. Chris, you have North Bay, Limpet and Texmar.
I went by, they all look good.
Perfect. Anna, you have Marine View in South End Grand Canal.
Marine View's getting a couple potholes. Plus there's been a lot of work going on down there. I checked it 3 days ago and definitely to have those potholes filled.
It needs the potholes filled, or it did have them
Yeah,
filled?
it needs them filled, unless they've been filled in the last 2 days, 3 days ago, they have some pretty good potholes.
Okay, alright, thanks. Ed, you have Emerson and the skate park.
I took a quick run through them this month and they look pretty good. They look the same. I'm thrilled with what we've done over there. At the tennis court.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. And Sean, you have Northeast Grand Canal and the Lions Club.
Yeah, the Northern Grand Canal is starting to get the potholes as well, right there on that front berm. For some reason, it just gets worn out so quickly.
There's a lot of people go there.
And then, the Lions Club still got the ropes around that playground equipment. I haven't talked to Jeff recently to see what the progress in that is, but it's got the ropes up. I drive by it quite often and see it.
Yeah. I haven't talked to him lately either, probably should reach out to him too, okay. Okay, so future meeting date and time, is January 10th, 2024, I know you're not here, it's at 1 o'clock, it is 2:35, need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second, all in favor? Have a good holiday, everybody. And New Year.
Happy holidays.
For those that are, what's up, Jewish?
Well, that's what we say, happy holidays, right? Everybody.
Happy